Welcome back, guys, to the Bear and Scully podcast Christmas special with me, Sean Scullion, aka Scully, Owen Mallon, aka the Bear. Unfortunately, Owen can't be here. It's Christmas special. He's on the naughty list. So,
what the fuck do you mean? Here I am, here, baby.
Naughty list. Santa's naughty list.
Hi.
Right. We'll have Aidan, the face for radio, behind the scenes.
And Jesse giggles.
Who refuses to be on camera, but we've roped around anyway.
Why have you not got your headphones on?
Well, it's funny you should say that, Sean.
Guys, we have a little charity ring through here, right?
So if they're listening,
So if you're listening, you really need to see this. I've got a set of blow-up antlers on my head. I don't know why I'm tying me bows.
do you think you're going to catch these?
Right, there.
Ah, come on now. You didn't think this through, have you?
Fuck me, I haven't really got this sorted out. Wait, give me a minute. What's my antlers? Right. Here we go. Right.
Oh,
The green ones.
you looked ridiculous,
Right,
by
this
the way.
is for charity. So
Right.
you can pick what charity you want for each of these, right?
How much is each?
We'll go, what is there? Fuck, I don't want to be getting too carried away here. We go £20 for the, £50 for the green ones, £20 for the red ones. Right. So which one's this for, Sean?
The green one?
All right, but we'll pick the charities after, right?
Oh, yes, okay.
Right, you ready? Right, am I helping you?
You're going to try to,
Right,
anyway.
guys, this is just our wee opening round of game before we get going. Right, go. Hey! Oh, fuck, the green one is £50.
Right, we're going to try and get one of these on here. Oh, so close. So close.
Why are you the one throwing? You're fucking useless. Right, go.
You're meant to be helping.
Right.
Ready? Useless.
Right. It's on!
It was on. It has to count. Right, last one. Ah.
Fucking dumb bag.
Literally none of them on.
Welcome to the Christmas. And I'm back, baby.
Nice
So,
sweet top you've on you.
this is why men should, I'd say, Aidan, the likes of Aidan and his friends probably message each other, what are you wearing, you know. But this is maybe why me and you should link up and find out what we're wearing, because they're similar.
Aye, but yours is all Rudolph. Mine's, what, Santa?
They're a bit similar. Like,
Bit
we
similar.
should have maybe give a heads up. I had,
It's
like,
a bit tighter.
well, Sean, when you shop in Baby Gap, that's what you end up with. So, right, guys, we have, this is the end of the year. Suppose this is the last one with just me and you. Is there another one before this comes out? No, this will be out on Christmas Eve. And then we might take a break and release in the new year. Is that right? Is that the way we're working? So we had a Q&A that Jess had put up during last week. So we're going to take a few questions. Aidan is mic'd up, camered up now. Look, the face for radio has now got a face.
He's now got a voice.
Hello.
Oh, fuck. Aidan, your big moment came and you started with hello.
So I have some Christmas questions that we're going to ask you. Any particular order?
Probably number one, and
first
then number
one.
two, and then number three.
Work your way down the list.
So, does Bear and Scully have a favourite Christmas movie?
Favourite Christmas movie?
Die Hard.
Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
Yippee
We
ki
discussed this.
Die Hard.
It's not a Christmas movie.
100% Christmas. Right, show of hands. Christmas comes round, Die Hard makes you think of Christmas.
Right, so there's four of us in this room, and you're the only one putting up your hand.
Well, I'm going to tell you about these two. Anytime, have you watched Die Hard?
Yes.
No, see. And you know what? This is how you know you feel old. I bring up these movies and they haven't a clue what I'm talking about. So I'm not taking that from them, the High School Musical genre corner in the corner. So I'm not taking that opinion.
But Die Hard.
Die Hard.
Like, you have so many
Home
other
Alone
ones.
is a
Right.
classic. Well, what's yours?
The Muppets.
The Muppets.
Christmas Carol.
Annoying me fuckers. I never really liked
Kids
the
love
Muppets.
it. Grinch. Grinch, good one.
I'm a mean Grinch. Right, Aidan.
So, what?
Who writes in, what's your favourite movie? Maybe Jess has made these up. Nobody read anything in, so she made them all up.
What is your favourite Christmas song?
Is it Oh Holy
I
Night?
want a hippopotamus
No,
for Christmas.
no. Your cub was singing
Only
that the other day.
hippopotamus will do. I don't want a rhinoceroses. No, I think when you're out and you're full swing, it is hard to beat the fairy tale in New York because everyone knows. There's only a few songs you know the words to. Well, actually, I don't know the words to them now. Apparently, it's You Hag It or something now. We're being all PC, like, but you know.
What is it meant to be?
Oh, Jesus, don't be getting me started here now. We'll be getting cancelled again. But if you see me over the Christmas festive periods, our staff night out is on 2 days before this goes out. So by that point, we could be cancelled anyway. But if you see me out 10 pints deep, I'll be full swing.
You'll sing
giving
them a
her
tune.
full wally, full 100% original. I'll be singing, you know.
I'll not be there. If you're singing, I won't be there.
Scumbag, you maggot, you cheap lousy. Well, yeah, but yeah.
Right, what's the next question?
This is a big one here. If you were served a 3-course meal at Christmas, so your dream 3-course meal, what would it be?
To me, this is the Christmas dinner, right? This is the ultimate Christmas dinner, and it has to have all these things, and it's a very delicate cocktail balance to make it perfect. It has to have, obviously, mash, obviously turkey and ham, cocktail sausages, tons of stuffing, cauliflower cheese, broccoli, cauliflower cheese, Brussels, the old veggies answer to the meatballs, the Brussels sprouts. I don't eat Brussels sprouts any other time of the year. Mine are legendary. I took off a phase. I was making parmesan, garlic, Brussels sprouts with bacon medallions.
Your sister left the Brussels sprouts round. I mind that.
I made them for you.
Your sister put
You're
them
welcome.
in the tray,
Made
brought
your
them
dinner.
round, and they
Made
were
your
lovely.
dinner. Peppered sauce. I know this is going to be
Gravy.
controversial.
Gravy.
I like a bit of gravy, but I like pepper sauce. If I'm going out for dinner, and you might not believe this to look at me, I'm like straight in, no kissing, just a main, and maybe a dessert. Depends if I'm having a few pints. But Christmas dinner, I feel like I need to have the full hog. Prawn cocktail. Maybe we taste the soup, but there's soup on the go. And then you go into this big massive dinner. But I'm going to tell you something controversial.
Go.
I think the sandwiches that night are better than the dinner that day. Boxing Day dinner is better than Christmas Day dinner.
I couldn't eat sandwiches after a big feed like that.
Do you have any Boxing Day traditions?
Do I have any Boxing Day?
Mine is always round till my mum and dad's house. So we always have Christmas Day dinner in our own house. And then Boxing Day is always round in mum's. And it's always nicer because it's Christmas Day's dinner the following day. I think Christmas Day dinner is far better
Fact.
on day number 2.
You're talking knowledge. You're dropping knowledge bombs.
Roasties.
I'll go
back
as far
into
to
the fire
say
again.
Boxing Day is a better day because everyone's not up to high dough, running about,
It's a bit more chilled.
chilled out. We do it in ours. We do it day about. So this year it's Christmas at my ma's, and then it's Boxing Day at Danielle's folks. So normally last year then it was vice versa, you know. So they're all good cooks. So I have actually a good wee run of it. So like I don't mind where it is, but the only problem is the rule I made, which has backfired spectacularly sometimes on me. If we're going to my in-laws, if we're going to my in-laws, I joked with my wife that I'm drinking because I'm going to need it to listen to them. Hope they're not listening to this. And if she's going to mine, so we have it vice versa. So that's the way it worked out. But Boxing Day, no, I used to play rugby on Boxing Day long time ago, and I actually thought it was the best day for doing things like that, or like getting out and doing things. I know people like go shooting or do these things, but it's the best day to see for a rugby match, get it on early. It gets you in a good form for a big feed and a few pints. But no, Boxing Day is just go at it again. Looser trousers, bigger feed.
The worst Christmas present you've ever received?
I'm going to tell you this, right?
You have one.
I have the worst Christmas present I ever received, right? One year, I got a present. I'm not going to say who's. I'm not say who it's from. It was from my ma's old boy,
I thought you were going to say the wife.
right? And I opened it, and it was an iron box, and in it was stuffed a bathrobe I had bought him 2 years previous.
Oh, rewrapping.
No, right? So I'm opening this, and then I was like, what a miserable... Anyway, my sister opens hers beside me, and it's a... What do you call them? Like medallion? Like a sovereign? And I was like, what? Wait a minute. Maybe there's something in this box I've missed. And I start opening up the robe and all. And I was like, no, this is what I got. And this is what she got. So there you go. I think mine was a message. Imagine re-gifting something someone gave you, not even the year previous to it, 2 years, and giving it back to them in an iron box. Like, I think it was thought out and done maliciously.
Good robe.
It's fucking 5 sizes too big for me, and I'm a big boy, like, but there you go. What about you? What's the worst present you ever got?
Pair of socks, maybe. An old handy one.
Hey,
Pair of socks.
don't knock the socks, don't knock the boxers. They're all good presents.
Oh,
Link sets, Link Africa, all top of the range Christmas
I
presents.
thought you were going to make that comment. You know the 3 things that you need in life? Remember you were telling me that at the weekend?
Sean,
What's them 3 things that you said you need in life?
there's 3 things everyone needs
Go on
in
ahead,
life. Well,
tell
not
me.
everyone, actually. This might not work.
Yeah.
Yes, it's sitting in.
Going ahead.
You need a good pair of shoes
Uh-huh.
and a good bed.
Uh-huh. There's 3.
No. You need 2 good things in your life,
No,
Sean.
no, there's 3
'Cause
things. There's
if-
definitely 3 you were telling me at the weekend.
If you're not in the bed, you're in your shoes.
No, there was definitely 3.
I may have said a good woman, because if you're not in one, you're in the other. My sisters, when they're wee, used to get a bottle of deodorant, right? A wee tin of deodorant, and wrap it in the shape of a cracker every year, and like twist the ends. Like, you won't know what it is. Like, I wouldn't know what it is. But it wasn't even like Africa. It was like, you used to get the ones that were 49p out of pound stretch. You got 2 for £1. And then I'd look across, my bra would be opening the other one. It's the thought that counts.
Do you mind that year, at Christmas dinner, you done the wee speech, and then it went down like a lead balloon? Remember, it was all your in-laws, I think, was there, and it was even worse.
No,
I thought you were doing this wee speech. And
this
then,
is not painting me in a very good light here.
Aye, well, I think it was something like till health until honour, and if you can't come in her, come on her.
I didn't see that, right? I didn't say that. The
You told
only
me-
thing I ever did, right, and this was a clinker of a speech, on the top table of the day of my wedding day, I leaned over and went down to Danielle's mum, and I leaned into her ear and I goes, "Hey, Joan." She goes, "What's that?" And I goes, "What's the difference in an in-law and an outlaw?" She goes, "I don't know one." I goes, "At least an outlaw is wanted." I just wanted to start my marriage as it meant to go on.
You're
I'm only
laughing
joking.
there and you're
I
a wee
love.
bit sore.
Fuck off.
Oh, we're allowed to talk about that or no? Touchy subject.
It's my New Year's resolution.
Not to talk
We'll
about
move
it.
on to New Year's resolutions
Right,
after.
okay.
It's my New Year's
Aye,
resolution.
Next question.
Next question, Ian. But just, I want to finish this up. I painted a real bad... You can't come in there, come on there. They painted a real bad picture here. I love my in-laws and get on really well with them, but this will make for an awkward Christmas Day or Boxing Day dinner. So I just want to, love yous all.
What would be the best Christmas present that you have ever received? Could have been when you were younger, or
The best
I know.
Christmas present?
I think as you get older, you don't appreciate presents as much. I think whenever you're a child and you get something, it was like,
Oh my
fucking
God.
surprise.
Now, I would say that, and I would say it differently, actually. That I've got to the stage in my life where, like, if I seen something and I liked it or something, I'm wild impulsive, so I'll go and get it. So it makes me a nightmare to get anything for. So I actually see things I want and be like, "Oh, I'm going to get that. Oh, you know what? I'll say to Danielle or somebody that's what I want, because they're going to start asking me and I'm going to end up with shit I don't want." So, but one year the children made me a card or something, my nieces, and I was buzzing. So it's funny, as you get older and you're buying yourself all these things, when someone takes time and does things. It was something about a Christmas play, and you had to say what you're thankful for, and they'd said something about me in it, and it meant more because they had done it and thought about it than like if you were bought something. So like when gifts and time go into things like that, I think it feels better. But the best Christmas present, I remember one year Santa come, and we got, back in the day, there was one big present, and that was for everyone in the house. And it was a Super Nintendo. And we had Duck Hunt. Remember Duck Hunt and the Bazooka?
Yeah.
Street Fighter and the Bazooka. And we did. And I swear to God, I don't play consoles or things like that, but we played that thing night and day and kicked the shit out of each other to get playing and whose turn it was for about 3 days solid.
Do you mind you used and you're talking about consoles, do you mind you used to have like a proper game machine? You know the big stand-up one?
The arcade one?
Arcade one, aye.
Aye.
What
Shout
was
out
that?
to Comedy Bars. Stole that out of the back of her. My boy used to work for Comedy Bars in Cookstown, right? And they had, you know, the arcade games.
Oh, I the big massive one.
But
Aye.
at the time, they were
We
taking
stick in the button and all.
they were taking up more space than they were worth. But now they're retro games. They're probably worth a fortune. But back then, I remember one of the senior members of the family were like, "Oh, we're breaking that up." And I was only a cub, and it was like, you get a few pounds for each one you broke up." And I was like, "I'm taking one of them home with me. This thing's cool." I actually used it as a money box. So you know the wee slot? I used to save my money in there. I don't save it in there anymore. But I remember breaking them up, busting them apart and all, and that was all right. And you had to break them, but you couldn't break the screen. You had to set the screen, but you had to break them up. But that was okay. I broke one open, and it had all the old 50p's. And I don't know if you remember, they'll definitely not remember. But the 50p used to be big, and then they changed it, and it went to smaller. And there was £90 in it and 50p's that had fell over the back of the hopper. So we were going down to Westport about a month later. I put the whole thing into the bag, and I don't know whether people know this, and this is probably it's illegal. This is probably fraud I'm admitting here. So we went down to Westport, and the old 50p's were the exact same size as the Irish 50 punt or half the 50p down south. So I went down, and I was like, "Oh, this will work for the machines." And so, well, the weight's the same. But then they had this new thing, change up on the wall. So I put the 50p in, and it would shoot out like a load of 10p's. So I put the whole shebang in her, got all the 10p's, and walked up to the man and goes, "You wouldn't change that for notes?" And I walked around with 90 punt. So I couldn't go back, and this was the best of it. I'd done it in day one, so I couldn't go back near the arcade or the wee games room for the rest of the time I was there, in case he was like, "There's the fucker done me with the 50p's." But there you go. So
Good
that
times.
went sideways on that one. But it just shows the level of ingenuity there.
Jessica had put up a post asking for people to write in questions for you to answer. So someone actually asked,
So Hayden's going outside the lines or his remit.
what is the most money you've made in one day?
Big dough. Big dough.
What cheeky bastard wrote that? Name and shame.
This was a fella, Oisin McGovern.
Is this the boy that does the Tinder things, the messages, puts a...
Tinder King.
Well, that's a bit fucking loose, fast and loose, because I was thinking this one day. I see he does it loads of times. He puts up the wee Tinder or TikTok stories
Yes.
about messaging women, like these one-liners. King would mean that he's nailing it, but he seems to have to keep going back to them. I'm only joking. The most money made in one day... Car wash was good for tips around Christmas time, so I'm sure it took
Back in the
him
car washing days.
£20 there. You know, there's been times you made a few pound, and there's time. It's all well and good in the game that I do. People think, "Oh, you make a fortune." There's days you literally could physically be sick. So I don't think I know, and I don't look. I try and do on an overall basis, but we're millionaire podcasters. That's all I'll say. Millionaire podcasters. Coca-Cola, stop fucking ringing us, will you?
And swiftly
On that
moving
note, if you do want to ring us, ring away.
This one's actually for Sean.
Oh, the handsome stranger. Oh, just so I should say this here, by the way. Sean, heading out with Sean isn't the same crack as it used to be. Out on Saturday night, never seen him the whole night. Man was just round giving the people what they want. Pictures, selfies.
No, I got stopped
Autographs.
a couple of times, and you were in your element. You couldn't wait to get shouting at me.
Oh, I couldn't. I actually couldn't. I was so happy. Because Sean, for many a time, would have been giving me abuse. But the shoe is on the other foot. But anyway, go on ahead. So
Not all the time.
What is Sean's question?
Someone had asked, how did Sean get into the fire service?
Put on an application form.
Oh, Sean.
I know. I'm only joking.
Fuck's sake.
I'm only joking.
That person was like, this is my opportunity to get some inside
Juicy.
knowledge. And then
Juicy
he
stuff.
was like, aye, application.
No, well, hey,
For
whenever-
for the people that don't know,
yeah,
Sean's a fireman.
fair man. Part time.
Wind them up for us. Unreal. Go on ahead. Take it away. Give them the juicy stuff.
Aye, well, I must only been 2021 at the time, and I was weighing up.
Not
what
to
I was
give it
gonna do.
away. How many years have you been in the fire source?
Too many. Still young. Still young.
Are you in it as long as you're out of it, or as long as before you signed? You're getting there.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll say on that.
Yeah. But anyway, at that age, I was like, right, there's one or two things I'm doing. I'm either joining the fire service or I'm going to Australia. And I spoke to Mum about it. And I told her, I says, look, that's the two options. I'm either going to join the fire service or that's me, I'm out of this country. And put on the application form. A lot of ones that were...
Was it a long process?
It was and it wasn't. Like you probably say it was maybe 5-6 months. 5 or 6 months for to go through all the stages. Wasn't that long.
Was it an open night, or was it online, or where did you see it, or on the news?
You obviously had to put in an application form to go through the process. There was an audit had to be done, an audit test or an aptitude test, not even an audit, an aptitude test. So had to go to OMA to do it.
No.
What?
There's no way you do an aptitude test for the fire service. There's some thick fuckers in it. I'm only joking, boys.
Aptitude test. It was you had to run out hose in such a time, and you had to put up a ladder, and you had to climb a ladder. Like the amount of people.
But tell me this: you had to. I know this sounds stupid. You had to do that before you were trained to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But there'd be loads of people that would be like, "Oh, I wouldn't know how to climb a ladder." And I know that sounds stupid to say that, but. And I suppose it is stupid.
Well, you're given
Not
instruction.
right.
You're given instruction. You're shown how to do it. You know how to climb the ladder. You had to take a leg lock at the top, let go of the ladder with your legs locked in it, and then they held a card A, B, C, D, whatever it was. You had to shout down what it was A, and then you had to climb back down again, and you were timed in doing that. So I think it might have been 70 seconds to climb up, leg lock, and back down again. But loads of people failed just because they didn't take the instruction right. Like there was loads of ones. It was actually just a weightlifting bar, and there might have been 20 kg on it. And the guy had said, grab yellow mark, both marked. He showed you how to do it. Knuckles facing away from you, lift it up, bent legs straight back, set it back down again. People grabbed it in the middle. People grabbed it opposite hands round, and they failed straight away because they couldn't take a simple instruction.
I think we should do a pod on that because I actually was interested there. So. And then you obviously you failed, and then you had to like tickle balls to get back in.
Who failed? but that's the thing. That process I went through, loads of people, like there was only 2 of us got through that day for Cookstown Station, me and James McElhone, and there could have been 15 to 20 in for it. So for us, only 2 of us to get through.
That felt good, like.
It did, but not to sound big-headed, it didn't seem that challenging. If that makes sense.
If it fits you and you were good for it.
Doing running out the hose and back in again, and then there was a BA pod, so you had to go in and follow a rope around.
Breathing apparatus just for using,
Breathing apparatus.
I throw this lingo out because this used to annoy Sean. When we went out at the start, Sean was a fireman, and they do get attention for this. Sean would have been like, like trying to underplay it, but loving it really. I'd have been like, I'm a fireman too, and it used to annoy. It used to annoy the fuck out of him. He'd be like, he's not a fireman. But that's where I got used to all the terminology. I know all the what are the ones? RTCs, false fire alarms. What's the other ones? AFA. I'm down with the lingo.
But no, it was that process. I didn't find it that challenging, and I didn't. And then after you do that, you obviously have to go and do an exam, like English and maths, simple enough exam to get through, and then you obviously had to go for an interview. And
then you're on fucking $100,000 a year, aren't you?
Big dough.
Everyone assumes that the fire service, you think, but if you go second job tax, and there's you do and work it out, is it good money?
Dirt. The way it is at the minute, and it's not saying that I'm on any big wage. A lot of the guys that are in the fire service at the minute are leaving their own employment to go to the fire call and get paid less, and that's just a fact. The
Aye,
wage is that low.
they're coming out of their job
Yeah,
to the fire service
to get paid
at a
less.
reduction of money.
Mm-hmm.
Because I actually remember asking you at the start, like, are you on X amount? Because I thought that you're risking your life. Surely you're getting paid a lot more, but it's not.
Honestly, if you sat down and went through it all,
You wouldn't do it. It's not. You're not doing it as simply a job opportunity. You must
if
take
I
it as
was
a
if I
vocation.
was to quit the fire service and get a job in a bar on a Saturday night, I would make more money at it. Fact. Now, I'm saying that about the job. I love the job. I enjoy doing the job.
But it's a
very
vocation.
rewarding. It is very rewarding. But at the same time, we need paid for the job we're doing. Simple as that.
That actually, to me, that's mad to think that people would leave their place of employment a pay cut. Like, you think they'd be like, "Oh, class, I've just got a call. I'm out here." Not. I know for a fact, because I know quite a few of your friends that work in the fire service, that nobody would be like all lethal. You know, I've got an hour call under them about that. They don't think anything about the money side of things, because it's not. It isn't that. But it actually did shock me, and that's why I was joking when I said that, so that you would let people know. But there you go. There's a wee side
There you
tangent there.
So
Or do you want to hear anything more, Aidan?
Have you ever done it in the back of a fire engine?
No. How dare you say that?
Put your wellies on.
someone asked, how many detentions did Owen get before
Why?
leaving
Look,
school?
this is always the way this is. Pick on me. How many detentions did I get? Is this the rainy?
Before you
Before
get
leaving.
suspended.
This
No,
is-
he didn't
this is
leave.
the rainy.
Leaving's
Expelled.
like he went to a different.
Look,
like,
listen.
Oh,
it wasn't like he
So-
left,
right,
went to
listen.
another school because he was like, oh, you know what? It's not a right fit for me. He get kicked out.
Listen,
Go.
I don't see it like that. I seen it as a parting of ways. We weren't, me and the rainy was
School
not.
wasn't the right fit.
We
for you.
weren't the right fit, right? And me and the headmaster had a conversation and explained it with each other, and we seen it as a parting of ways.
So many detentions.
Oh fuck! So actually, what used to happen in the rainy was, right, if you messed about, you had to write the code of conduct, which was 3 pages front and back, right? But I had that down, nailed, cracked. I done it in the bus the first time, and then I photocopied it. And my auntie used to work in an office supply, so I got a real good photocopier, and then I photocopied it. So I was like, I may get 1 or 2 of these, and then you get the code of conduct to write front and back, and then they upgrade it till a detention. And there's a detention, and they always done it on Friday. Sadistic fuckers, the lot of them, they do it on a Friday, and then the bus wouldn't be till like 6:15. So I'll never forget this. So then I obviously done my first detention, maybe my second or third, but it was apparently if you got 3 detentions, you would get a suspension. So then the first detention, I was like, right, want it, and then the second one I wanted, and then the third one I was like, fuck this, I'm not going. So I went to get on the bus, but somebody squealed. It was you know what? There was a lot of snitches in that school, a lot of snitches, and I'll tell you worse than that. I could see it was Master Hagen at the time, and I could see him coming. Big Bill Hagen. He had the biggest, deepest voice. Owen Mellon! Is Owen Mellon on this bus? So I remember climbing up on the bus and hiding in behind one of the seats. And they're all like, it'd been a well-behaved school now. So a lot of them were probably disgusted at this. So I was hiding in behind the seat. And I could hear, "Is Owen Mellon on this bus? Fuck off, Baldy Bill." Right? So then I thought I was hilarious, right? So he gets off the bus, right? And as the bus is pulling away, I jump up the window, dunk, all right there. I knew I was fucked after that. So then I don't know what it was. I loved I actually loved that school, and I loved playing rugby. And I think when they stopped me playing rugby, then that was it. So it offered nothing, and then I went and played for Dungannon, and I left the Renee parted ways.
I like how you said you get.
But you know what he says to me? It was a Dr. Flanagan was the headmaster at the time, and he, not actual Dr. Flanagan from the town, so let's draw a distinction here, but it was Flanagan, I remember. And I went in, and he had this big picture of Holy Trinity College up in the back, obviously Dublin, and he goes, you have a bright future and potential. Is this where you want to end up? And I was like, I wouldn't travel to Dublin, hey. Oh, fuck. That was the worst foot. The worst one to get off. So that put me on the back foot with him. But there you go. So who wrote that in? Do you know?
I'm not too sure of that one.
I have a funny feeling I seen it. I think it was Connor Bradley. And you know what? It's funny. Connor, though thou without sin shall cast the first stone. You were in them fucking detentions beside me. I'll go as far to say, did you not receive a suspension letter at the same time I did?
What would be 3 things on your bucket list?
On my bucket list. Is this travel destinations or things to do?
Just anything on your bucket list, I suppose.
You know, I know we joke a lot and we do a lot of things, but this year, you know, with things happening and my wife had lost her best friend, it very much makes you think that you shouldn't wait too much to do some things. It was her 40th last year, or in January this year, and we obviously cancelled, but we had planned to go away. And I says, you know what, we're going to celebrate it again this year, and in memory of her, and we're going to go away, and we're going to have a good time, and ditch the kids. I always talk about it, but there is, if anything, from this year, and as you're getting that wee bit older, and you're getting near a cake with 4-0 on it, I don't have a bucket list as such, but I would be very much more, not impulsive, because you can't just be reckless with what you want to do, but I would definitely say that do things more, try and get out more.
No jumping out of planes or nothing, no?
Not jumping out of a plane. How many times have you done that?
3.
I never forget the first time you done it.
But sure, I said to Sammy that was on, I was like, I jumped out of a plane 3 times, and he's like, what was it, like 250 or 2,000?
I think it was like 2,000.
I was like, right, so why we 3?
Literally, Sean loves telling people this, because Sean's now at the stage like he can learn to like go solo. Is that right? You've done enough jumps that you
the first couple was solos.
No, there was with someone.
No, static line.
So you've done that already?
Aye.
Right. Well, this is better. So there's Sean giving her Billy big balls. Oh yeah, I've jumped so many times now, blah blah blah. It's nothing to me. And we had Sammy Lepari on, and he's jumped like 2,000 times. He's done like halo jumps and stuff, but jumping into places you wouldn't walk into.
He actually put up a deadly picture the other day of him jumping out of the back of the hangar, and it looked unreal. Somebody took the photo just as he was jumping out, and I was like,
aye, he was real deal, because and that was, but you know what, when there's people like that on, it pisses on what you've done yourself. Well, it pissed on your wee fucking Mickey Mouse plane.
Well, have you done any?
Aye, listen, this is one fact I'll tell you. I am never jumping out of a fucking perfectly good aircraft. If that baby's landing, I'm landing. For any reason it's not, I will jump out of it then. But never in between. I think it's absolutely madness. And the funniest thing is, noise travels better up and down. I didn't know this, but this is a science experiment I was a part of that I didn't realize I was going to be a part of, because when Sean jumped the first time, I was like, I'll go along with him, and I was hanging like a bat, and his girlfriend at the time, now his wife, we went up and we were there, and we were looking up, and I was like, is that Sean there in that one, right? And all I can hear is, hey Malin, you wee and I could hear him as plain as a bell shouting down at me, and it probably wasn't that, and somebody would probably say, well, we'll have to bleep out what he said, because we're fucking PC now and we'll be threatened and whatever. But whatever he was shouting wasn't exactly PC, we wouldn't be saying. But I could hear him clear as the bell, and he lands, right? And Tanya walks over to him and goes, Sean, you never shut your mouth. He goes, oh, could you hear me? So no, I'm not jumping out of a plane. There you go.
So is there nothing risky that you would do?
Nothing.
You know, bucket list stuff.
Right. I'm
would
doing Donegal Rally this year.
Aye.
I know that sounds stupid.
Oh, are you? That should be good.
Well, we.
Oh, right.
We.
Joint effort.
My wingman. the goose to my maverick. It's the blind leading the blind. I don't know why I would say goose to maverick, because me and Sean getting involved in these things, everything's new, and every time we go to these things, people are standing there and they're like, oh, I would like thinking we should have done these things. But so, have I anything this year? Spend a wee bit more time with the Cubs, have a bit more crack. They're growing at a rate of knots, but nothing really like. There's one thing I want to do travel wise, but I don't think I'll do it this year. But I really, from when I was a cub, I love history. I want to see the pyramids in Egypt. And I've been watching a couple of TikToks. It looks like an absolute shithole, and they're all trying to rob you and cons and scam you with camels and stuff and take you way out and charge you a fortune to get back and all.
Doesn't sound like that'll be on my bucket list.
But I'd love to go
You're painting a lovely picture.
I'd love to go to Giza. So I know that's weird to some people, but I'd love to do ballet. But I think ballet would be something when the boys are older. You know, I think that opportunity sort of has gone a wee bit past where we'd go to ballet. Mm-hmm. But that's it. What about you?
I think mine's more just get outdoors more. Even just in this country, climbing a few mountains. Haven't done any around Ireland at all.
Oh, have you climbed the mountain, Sean?
No, well, Stairway to Heaven, is it?
Well, shut. I run that. And you actually might not. Look, I actually have a video of this. I run that Cullia or whatever it is, that Stairway to Heaven. I done that run into it, run up the steps, took a wee break, run back down.
You did.
And I actually swear my life right here, right now. Obviously, I was about 4 stone lighter, but I run it. So that's not even a climb. That's shit.
So where was yours then? This big climb.
Hey, Sean, if I was going to climb a mountain, you know me. I do things right. I says, you know what? I'm going to climb a mountain. Google, where is the biggest mountain in Northern Ireland? Slieve Donard. Complete it, mate. I don't want to sound like
you're all Billy Big Balls here now.
Oh my God!
The day that you done it, go ahead.
Right.
Tea,
so it was cash for kids.
I put tea in the bag.
I made a few mistakes. Right, I did. I'm not a mountaineer. Is that a thing? No, it's a hiker or a mountaineer or whatever.
Well, it sounds like it's a big mountain from the way you're telling it.
Well, look, listen. Every time I describe it, it gets bigger. And hey, we had ice picks and we were, but it. I remember it was Cash for Kids was the first time, and me and the brother-in-law went to do it, and there was actually a group of ones, and he had done it. He lives in there in Newcastle, so we had decided we were going to. I says, "Look, I'm going to do this," and we'd raised $5,000. We were climbing it up, but
did you run up that one as well?
To run up it, no. Actually, the first time I done it, I had a bit of weight. I wasn't too unfit, so it wasn't too bad, right? And I'll tell you, actually, I'm going to be honest with you, it wasn't too bad. I'll tell you why. Because the bollockses we went with were that slow and you couldn't leave them. So like every now and again they'd be like, stop, and everyone would have to stop. And I was like, I'm not fucking waiting for these to come back down. We've been on this fucking thing for an hour. So it's grand when you're climbing up, you go up out the car park and you go up to the saddle, and then Donard's to your left, and I think Binnan's off to your right. So and like there's like 5 different peaks there. So we turned left and then it gets a bit tight. And I won't lie to you when I say this, I was blowing like a train, but it was okay. But my ego took a few hits, like when some Moldal went up past me, and I was like, well, that's a wee bit, you know. And then the next thing, I see this boy coming with these 2 sticks, and he went up past me, and I was like, all right, Owen, you know what? You think you're tired, but you're getting badly embarrassed here. But I have to be honest, I did say to you, Sean, I'd made a bit of a prep error. I filled a flask. I thought this would be great, you know, when you get up there, have a wee cup of tea. So I filled the flask, 2 litres, which is 2 kilos, which is 2.5 kilos by the time it's a flask. Made sandwiches, put in milk, put in a bottle of water. The fucking bag was about 10 or 11 kilo. I was wrecked by the time I got up there. So the second time I done it again.
Travel light.
Took water. Took water. How was it?
No tea at the top?
No, it says it was, and you know what? First time I done it, got up, it was all cloudy. And as we just got to the peak, the clouds cleared. And oh my God, the view is unreal. Second time I done it, the clouds didn't clear at all. And I was like, I'd be fucking raging if this was the first time I ever done this, because the views we got the first time was unbelievable. And I remember just sitting there, sipping a wee cup of tea, thinking, Owen versus Mountain, 1-0. There you go.
So no, that's definitely one of the things I want to do this year coming.
I'll take you.
Because Nicky that was on the show, Nicky Bradley.
Oh my God, right. This is like Sammy pissing. So I told everyone about climbing the mountain, and then Nicky rocks up, and everything she's been through in her life, and she had the reverse hip rhinoplasty. I know I'm not saying that correct. And she had her leg removed till her knee or hip and returned and replaced. That woman done like 4 mountains in 24 hours. And like I remember going, oh yeah, I climbed such and such, and I was like, this is making my Sleeve Donard story, the epic battle I had with the highest mountain in Northern Ireland, like shite.
But you done it.
Done it. So yeah, she inspirational woman, but she was climbing proper mountains. Like I think she went and climbed Kilpatrick that day.
Mount Errigal.
Mount Errigal.
Wales. She done Wales
No,
as well.
No, but that was
this
all
day it was
here.
like 4 peaks in
yeah,
24 hours. It was not it.
Yes, yes.
Aye.
Yeah.
So I think she done Donard, Kilpatrick, Errigal, and maybe Slemish or something like that. There was 4, but but she had done Snowdon and all. But didn't Sammy run Snowdon with like weighted bags and thing like? So we'll maybe not do weighted bags. I'm talking about my flask, and he's got 40 kilo going up over a mountain in the snow.
Do you have any regrets with the podcast?
Not even a vial. No
Nope.
regrets. Regrets isn't really something I dwell on, or is there things that would have changed and done? Maybe.
Started doing them sooner.
Started doing them sooner. That massively, like we fluffed about for a long time before we actually got going, because it was funny. We celebrated a year there recently, but we were looking back at snaps. It was ready 2 years ago, so it took a year to get going. I would have know what you know now, and you can't change things because this is hindsight, and hindsight is exactly what it is. It's knowing what you know now and looking back. Some of the way I would have handled some of the podcasts is I definitely wouldn't have done them the same style now, or some of them maybe I got at the start got a bit mostly involved and took thick things and maybe didn't ask things, or maybe at the start we were handling people with gloves because we didn't want to be too abrasive, but maybe 1 or 2 people wouldn't have had on. Fair to say?
Who like?
Well, the one we removed the podcast.
I just ask.
The one we removed the podcast, I wouldn't have had him on. And some of the messages now, it definitely now, as we've got on and it, me and Sean would discuss more about the people that are on. If the message, if they're selling stuff or they have a service or something and that's their motivation to come on, is it something we agree with? Do we want people to be signing up to it or getting involved in it, or that would be something we would talk about, and we wouldn't be as keen to do that as much anymore. But then some of the ones you come on, the people are maybe slightly more controversial, and the best of it is people turn around point oh, we shouldn't. I would say 90% of our podcastees, is that a thing, approached us. Wouldn't that be fair to say? Well, Jess would more deal with that, but I know Jess has messaged some, and we've reached out to some because they've had, harrowing stories or things that we feel would help other people. So we have reached out to them, but the majority of the people that come on reach out to us, which people then turn around and take a shot at us saying that we're going after people for clicks or views or whatever it is we're supposed to be doing. And I'm like, but they come to us. We didn't think. But would you change anything? Would there be ones that you would have done different? Would you ask things differently, or would you
100%. 100%. But I think it's only by doing the podcast. Like, it's all right saying, would you do things differently? You only do things differently by learning about yourself and how you ask a question and so on. Do you know what I mean? And from the very first podcast we done till now, totally different. And one thing I would say to people is, how many of you get to see yourself back with hundreds of people commenting, whether it's good or bad or indifferent that you do, and it takes a right bit of adjustment because you do see your flaws. Like at the start, maybe I still do it a bit, but hopefully not as much now. At the start, I have literally, and no, I'm not going to say I have threats because it's not fair to people that have zero, but things come into my mind, and I just feel like at the start, definitely, I felt like I had to say it, and it would have been like, like your woman in a row, if she has something she needs to say, she's going to get that out. That was me. I would like Was
you what?
It was you?
Yeah, Sean. I've grown.
Is
I've grown. Adapted.
Aidan, see, after this podcast, we're just going to go back and reflect on a wee thing, right? That's all I'm going to say.
And you know what? The old me would have a response for that.
But it's all good. It's all good.
I'll take it in the chin. There you go. So, Aidan, any more?
Yes, I would like to know.
I would like to know.
What is your favourite podcast that you've ever done?
There's podcasts I'm most proud of. There's podcasts I enjoyed the most. And there's podcasts that have done the best. And they're not all the same.
Yeah.
I have to say, the relationship one, I never laughed as much in the crack I had with that. Lisa's was hilarious, and she was nearly as much of a gag when we weren't recording as there. The likes of Denise's, which has been by far the most viewed, was harrowing, very hard to do, but I'm proud of it.
Yeah,
because the amount of people that come forward and said it. Seamus's and Debbie's, there is no pain like the loss of a child and hearing a parent discuss it, and it's very, very hard to really get that across. Yes, it was harrowing for you to listen to, but when you're sitting 2 feet from somebody and you're engrossed in the conversation, and the most patronising thing I used to ever hear before I had my boys was people who used to always say, when you have your own children, you'll think differently. And it's very, very condescending to somebody that doesn't have children or is trying for children, or it's a very condescending thing. But really, honestly, it does change your psyche. It's not even the same. So when you hear somebody describing the loss of their child, they were brutal. I actually don't think I've listened back to any of them ones that were heavy. It sounds really weird. I'm proud of them. I'm proud of the help that they've give people, and especially with like the organisations that they're helping, and you know, for Denise to help with people in domestic abuse, or not Denise, sorry, for Denise's to help people in domestic abuses. Debbie to help people that, and I know she's actually helping people local at the minute that have lost their loved ones in a car accident, and then Seamus, who's in the same community and helping people that's been bereaved by suicide. So like, for us to facilitate that, it makes you proud. Does makes you proud, yeah. And me and you've had that conversation. We did not think any of this shit would go down like this. That we would be bringing anything of that value. We thought we'd chat shit, have the crack, and that's the way it would be. But that now, when it's taking that toll, but that comes, now what's the old saying? With great power comes great responsibility. So then you have to be careful then in the way you pronounce it or the way you share it. But what is your, Sean? What is your standout one?
I think I'm the same. Do you know what I mean? There's ones that have big numbers, and you're like, oh, you know, or good fun. You know, you had the crack on the shows, but then you do get the likes of the ones that are a hard listen, but you're so glad you done them for the messages that it's going to put out. And like, same as probably we've talked about it, you know, you're leaving them the podcast that day and you're heading home and you just need to get out of the house and away because you've taken that all in.
Aye.
You know, what you've listened to, and you're living it with them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the people that you've had on. But
now, I'm not saying this because this is something people are so fucking quick to run and say, oh, their mental health and their blah, blah, blah. But when you hear something truly traumatic and it's shared with you in that way, you don't, not like this sound like fucking pussy or like this, like, oh, there actually is a thing where trauma can be passed in the conversation. So a level of that when it's being told to you, and I suppose for you is sometimes nearly, I know definitely that you struggled with Debbie's because you shared another point of view of you, as the fire service and as being there in that situation in a different capacity, that it triggers their memories. But it does, there's once you go home and you're like, it's going to take a wee while, especially the abuse ones and things like that. That's fucking hard. Like,
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I never thought I could sit and have the conversation with somebody. I would be like a bury my head in the sand and don't tell me something bad and then it's not happening sort of character. So then now you're sitting there and all of a sudden somebody's coming to you and like if you take Father Paddy, such a gentle soul and such level of abuse and control and just it just churned your stomach, it made you sick. To sit and ask him and be compassionate and try and to constrain yourself and say it articulated and have that conversation when you're not the sort of person that normally would have that conversation. And all these people are like, oh Jesus, you are good at that, and you're like, we're fucking winging it. We're winging it because I have no idea how I'm supposed to ask these questions, and I don't want to sound stupid, but I don't want to not ask in case people want to know and things like that there. But then you get the likes of the OnlyFans ones, and you don't want to come across a pervert asking questions about it. But my mind is intrigued, and I want to know these things. Maybe I have a wee bit of a pervert mind. And I'm like, don't ask that in a pervy way, Owen, but at the same time, find out. I love when you come out of a podcast, right? And you go in, like say if Jess is in the back office, and you go into Jess, and Jess goes, is it good? And you know Jess is asking you as in, like, was it
Juicy.
Was it juicy?
Love it.
So finally then, in 2024, in the new year, will there be some live shows?
Of course there will.
John, you didn't even pause. You didn't drum roll exclusive. We're going to... Bear Scully's coming to you live. But it's going to be slightly different. We're going to have a bit more relaxed having the crack because who the fuck would want to go out to a live show to cry your lamps out? It's so intense thing. So it might be a bit slightly different than our norm. I don't know what our norm is. Do you know our genre for what? So when we set up the podcast and you select what genre you're in so that when you're being ranked or you're being in any of them there, we're in comedy. So I'd be laughing and I'd be like, this week, there's maybe me and Sean have been balling our lamps out, and it's been one of the most dramatic stories. And you think, and there we are in the middle of a comedy chart, and there's us, and I was like, I pity some fucker that goes on and goes, Jesus, I could do a laugh today. I'm feeling a bit low on it. I could do a laugh today. Go down the chart and go, oh, geez, they're doing well. I'll listen to this one. They'll be crying by the time they get round the corner. But I do think the shows we have a couple of ideas and a couple of things, and we put it out there. It's a wee bit daunting. It is a bit daunting to go and do the live show. I don't mind being a gub, but if you put it all on, nobody showed up. That would be daunting. So you fuckers better show up.
You're well used to sitting talking to yourself.
Well, thanks very much.
Pure pro.
Look,
see you on the phone. So get over to.
Hey,
an hour later, and you're still on the phone talking to yourself.
Wait a minute. What? There's another man over this year's become quite a pro at it.
Good man, Aidan.
No, have fun. I want you to put that video that I recorded in the background in just to let people see. So he's giving shit. We're now going to see, folks. You'll see the behind the scenes, but. We have live shows coming up for 2024. We will confirm a date, and actually we'll hopefully confirm a date in the first 2 or 3 weeks in January. And it'll be the one thing, when me and Sean do something, balls to the wall. Speaking of balls to the wall, do you
want to talk about that?
Have you any New Year's resolutions, Sean?
Do you? Because you were laughing there and you look, he's a wee bit sore, tender.
Do it.
People, going ahead.
I don't know if I should be saying this in a podcast. And I probably should have had this conversation with my wife.
Well, then let's not talk about it.
We'll talk about it and we can cut it out. Talk about cutting it out. So, as I said, I'm nearly 40.
Father of 2 lovely boys.
My wife near died with our last boy, and that sounds dramatic. I'm not being dramatic because she was hospitalised and her heart rate went to like 160 for like 3 days. So, I made the family planning decision to get the snip.
Merry Christmas.
And jingle balls, jingle balls, jingle balls. Snip, snip, hooray. So that's why I'm sitting kind of gingerly. Not the process I thought. And you know what I'm going to tell you? You're laughing, Sean. You're laughing, right? But, you know, obviously a lot of men go and get this done. And it was obviously a conversation had. And see, in your old head, you feel a wee bit less of a man. Like, this lion has been tamed. The roar is not as loud as it once was.
You said it was like a turkey, tying up a turkey.
But, right? Now we're getting into the fucking nitty gritty of it. I'll just tell you this here. I walked in, shout out to the vasectomy NI crew, because they actually turned around and says to me, well, let's be on a podcast. And I was like, not really something I'm probably going to discuss on a podcast, but here you fucking are, and here we are. Open as a book. So, went in, have your consultation, your sit down and chat and say, look, listen, basically, this can happen to you, that can happen to you, that can happen to you, you know, like anything. 1 in 2,000, 1 in 3,000, this year, blah, blah, blah. But just so you know, this is final. Are you 100% with that? Well, I've come all the way here. So, sign away, in the next room. Lovely nurse walks in. She goes, "Oh, how you doing, Mr. Mallon? Yeah, just hop up and thing. Take your box down, slip them down there." And she tries. This is what I couldn't get my head around. Right? She picks up this piece of a sheet, right, like a paper, right? Holds it up a wee bit and goes, "Slip your boxers off onto the one leg there, down on your thing." And she stands with her head to the right like this, you know, so she's looking away. Slip. So I'm like, "All right, I know, bar." And then she just goes. Moves the tape and goes, "I hope you don't mind, I'm going to tape this up by the road." Like, what the fuck was the point in holding up a sheet and trying to be all discreet if you're going to tip a dick up by the road? Like? You know what I mean? Like, I was like, aye, not a bad old day. Hey, smile for this time of year, isn't it?
It's cold.
Or you're sitting on the bed going, think of my granny, think of my granny. God forgive me, eh?
Oh, God.
So, there you go, guys.
That's that story.
My New Year's resolution in 2024 was till starter as I mean to go on. But if any of you are thinking about your family planning and, you know, head up vasectomy and your man goes, "How did you find us?" We Googled vasectomy Northern Ireland. And sure enough, vasectomy and I come up. But you know what the other thing was too? Well, you do many of these a day. No, the other thing I says to him, right, too, trying to be funny or trying to, like, I don't know, whether I was trying to break the ice or walk in. So when I walked in and in the middle of saying this, and all, I goes, "Oh, so is this where all the dicks hang out?" But no, so that's it. What about you? Any New Year's resolutions? Have you actually genuinely, apart from that, I know I'm joking, New Year's resolutions?
I don't do them.
I don't know. I think I'm going to do them this year, but mine's not going to be like
You know that
giving
going
up.
off sweets? And
No.
doing this
Mine's
and-
not a giving up thing. I actually try and, I know this sounds wankerish, and this is what all influencers say, and they do all these things, and they go, "Oh yeah, this year I'm going to try and be a better person." I'm going to try and do nicer things, if that makes sense.
Gonna try to be a nicer person.
You know what, Sean? I'm going to try and be a nicer person.
A better me.
Owen, 4.1, because we went past 2.1, 2.3, 2.4. We're on 4.1 now. What about you, Aidan? Any New Year's resolutions?
New Year's resolutions. I was talking to you, took up that MMA.
Oh yes, you did, son. Tell them about the MMA.
Look, and if any of you are watching, Aidan is aiming to get one of these white collar MMA fights.
His first training session, came into the office
Dung.
the next
not
morning.
clean him.
I was like, "Well, Aidan, how'd you get on?" Balls in face, and he's like, "I'm telling you, lad, it was exactly like that." And I loved it. He loved it.
There's something gets me going. Hey,
It's the
the
sweatiness of it all.
sweaty, the testosterone
It
in
was
and around my
flowing.
nose, face, and down over the top of my, as he was licking his chin.
Oh,
I don't think it went like that. Sure.
His first MMA.
what was it like then? What was it like?
He fought the dragon. The guy was called the Dragon. And Aidan was
A wee
like,
bit of light sparring.
Aidan was like,
Boy, nailed you.
why did they call him the dragon? Later on that day when he was dragging his balls across his face, he knew rightly.
You've cut that out too.
Jess told me her New Year's resolution was not to talk on camera. And that was in 2023, and she'll continue that through to 2024.
So that's that done.
Jessie Giggles doesn't have New Year's resolutions.
I have another question.
Aidan. Aidan, pipe down, son. You were given a mic and
You had your moment.
You're getting fucking carried away.
So you were talking about the boxing and MMA and stuff. I want to know, would you ever do boxing?
100%.
You definitely would.
And fuck I. Listen, no bother. And Aidan keeps sending me different NI people.
There's wee videos be sent to you now and again.
Listen,
Yeah. Not far from home.
Listen, I am available. I will be in training in the new year. I'm recovering from a slight injury. Once all's back up and running, I'm ready to go. Not MMA, boxing. We'll do boxing.
No, boxing.
Bar. Buns.
Hey, it's not your first one.
We've talked about
Remember
that
that
already. We talked about that already.
I get a bad kick on that one. But anyway.
What sort of girl will we get to fix on?
Do you want to go?
Oh, fuck it. Sean's a wee man driving big lorries, boy. So, don't take him lightly. Then, if somebody wants to box, just send it into the show to Jess, and Jess, just get back to them and say, look, loads of people have messaged that we'll come back to you. And then I'll go and privately check them out to see if I think they're fucking hard enough. They're too hard. No, fuck, I'm not fighting him. They ain't beating at me. Have you any nice messages you want to finish up on for Christmas?
Probably just all our guests and the viewers as well. The viewership and you're joking. People do come up and say to you how
they come up to you a lot.
But they do though. They come up and saying how they enjoy the shows. We're doing a great job. So thank you, everybody.
Fans.
Look, Sean is available for selfies. There is no doubt about that, guys. But look, if the man's eating his dinner, give him 5 minutes. He's a big operation. There's a queue round the block, but he'll get round you all, and he'll give you a wee story and a wee convo in the middle of it.
You're getting pulled to the side too, you bollocks.
I swear, right? This man on Saturday night, hey, I'll post up a wee video, you can all see it yourselves. But no, listen, the one thing I do always say, Christmas isn't for everyone. Sometimes Christmas is the most dreaded time of the year, and people hate it, and they cannot wait to see it going past. And some of the guests we have, we know that that's going to be a hard time of the year. Some of you following the page will be a hard time of the year. The one thing I always say about Christmas is, don't get bogged down in the bullshit, as in the presents, the show, the running about, everything with that. Take a wee bit of time, be nice to each other, and thank you very much for watching this year, and we will see you again in 2024.
Happy Christmas.
Peace out.